In this video, I'm going to try to help you from becoming a negative Nancy. Yes, you're going to find in the teaching profession, just like any other profession, that there are plenty of negative people around you. And they're negative, they're horrible to be around. All they do is whine and complain. Oh, the work. Oh, the students. Oh, the principal. The central office. The parents. They complain and complain about everything. Every day there's a new drama. It is extremely overwhelming to be around these people, and they eventually get avoided. I'm going to try to help you not to become a negative Nancy. First of all, the first thing you need to do is to avoid being around negative Nancys. They're easy to pick up on. You are in the copying room, and you're at the copier, and then somebody behind you is just going on and on and on about this kid in their class, or they're complaining about the parent that they had the conference with the other day. And I want you to think this thought: I beg your pardon. I never promised you a rose garden. Now, it is not a shock to anybody that teaching is difficult. So I don't know why we have to keep talking about it. It just seems negative to me. Now, if you can avoid these people, then you won't catch their negative Nancy virus, which I'm pretty sure is a virus. And someday, scientists are going to figure out how it is scientifically true that you catch this virus if you're around them enough. Because just if you start hanging out with people who complain all the time, guess what you're going to do? You're going to start complaining all the time. Now, there is a necessity for you to complain a little bit, or unwind, or unload, whatever you want to call it. When I taught school, I was fortunate enough that my mother had been a teacher, and every single day on the way home from school, almost, I called her, and we talked on the phone on the way home, and she always asked me, how was my day? And I would tell her, this happened, and she would just, commiserate with me, or she would say, well, you could try that or try this. And interestingly enough, now that my daughter's a teacher, she does the same thing. She calls me every day, and we talk about things that happen during her school day. And so it's important to find one person with whom you can discuss problems and unload a little bit. If your husband or your wife, if they aren't teachers, sadly, they probably aren't going to be the person that you can turn to for this. You need to find another teacher, a trusted colleague. So isn't this exactly what you said, Miss Rock? Not to complain, not to whine? Well, you see, there's a difference. When you complain, that means that you go on and on and on about the same thing over and over and over and over again without trying to solve the problem. That's a completely different thing than just saying, this is the problem. I found it very frustrating, and I just wanted to get it off my chest. So finding a person to do that with, but not just doing it all the time, because that's what a negative Nancy does. No matter where they are, they got a scowl on their face. They're mad about this and mad about that. You can always go to them to find out who's doing what wrong. So-and-so didn't turn up for lunch duty or bus duty, or, like they policing the world. And I'm thinking, golly, you all need to get a grip. And so just remember, no one promised you a rose garden. Teaching's hard. And if this is news to you and you just now started, well, I'm sorry. Somebody should have told you. Teaching is really, really hard and frustrating. And you work yourself constantly and you don't feel appreciated. But if you can do like I did, and just remember that teaching is about delayed gratification. Yes, today's hard. Later, though, you're going to have a feeling that you've done the right thing, that you helped people who needed helping, that you were there for students when no one else was there for students. This kind of thing will just kind of give you cold chills when you think about the difference that you can make. And you don't just make the difference in one life. When you change the life of a student, you change the lives of their children and all the people that they come into contact with. It goes on and on and on. Think about that, and don't be a negative Nancy. Have a good day.